Welcome back to beautiful Dubbo. Very warm conditions here for the Junior State Cup Northern Conference. We move to the 12 girls division here. The Central Coast taking on Nelson Bay. First use of the ball will be with the Nelson Bay Neptunes. Of course, 25-minute matches, no halftime breaks. And the two sides will change ends when a try is scored. The Dolphins coming into this one arguably as the hot favourites. It's a very strong breeding ground for touch football talent out in the Central Coast, whether it be the Dawson Dragons or the Dolphins themselves. Plenty of talent is present a little further north of Sydney, but it is Nelson Bay with first use of the ball. They charge forward here through Madeline Baxter. Baxter again. Crabbing across field, good touch made there from Windley. And they've left that one behind, so change over here in favour of the Dolphins as they go on the charge and finding a little bit of room to move out wide. Good touch made in the end there from Vockman. Once more they carted upfield as Jason Stanton now joins us in commentary for this match between the Central Coast Dolphins and the Nelson Bay Neptunes. And Jason, thanks for joining us in the booth once more. I was just saying that it's a very strong breeding ground of talent out towards the Central Coast, whether it is the Dolphins or the Dawson Dragons.
Yeah, they're very strong. James, I just run up to the box. I'm probably not as fit as what I should be. But it's almost like the home of touch now, the Central Coast, because if you look at the depth, whether it's Central Coast, Dawson, Nelson Bay, Maitland, Peninsula, that's sort of, they're so strong. And then you add to that the northern Sydney, like the Renegades and Manly, Hills. It's really the home of touch. That's where all the talent's coming through.
Certainly fits for this particular conference. This is the Northern Conference, of course, and we're talking about all those strong northern-based teams. As Nelson Bay go very close here. I think they might get an extra set to play with. No, they're going to call last instead. So popped back towards the middle. Nowhere for Gambrel to go, though. Change over here for the Dolphins. No score as of yet. But all the field position so far has been with Nelson Bay. They tapped off first. The Dolphins coming out of their own end have had errors to date. Wrapping around, looking for some work is Isabella Quick. And we'll see if she lives up to that last name of hers. Especially if she gets into open space, as now Windley looks to scythe through the middle. But no opening there. Very strong defence there from the Neptunes.
Yeah, one of the things that I like seeing with the Neptunes there, and probably we'll see Central Coast do it as well, is they're actually anticipating the touch. So rather than when your partner in defence is making the touch, then everyone roll back after that. They're sort of anticipating the touch, so they're starting to get back onside as the touch is made, and that's a really good skill that these girls are going to need as they go through the different representative programs.
Lovely ball right at the advantage line. They keep driving towards the try line. I think Kyla Rankin has got there. Yes, she has. First try of the match comes the way of Nelson Bay, and the early field position ends up with a result.
Yeah, that was a superb run there by Rankin, and I don't think Central Coast did a lot wrong. She was just so fast the way she came onto it, and she got down so low. I think you mentioned in previous games, James, about the diving ability of the modern player being so strong, and they can all dive. And that was a case where the D didn't do a whole lot wrong, but Rankin just got down low, and a beautiful dive, resulted in the try.
So Healy now for the Central Coast Dolphins, who find themselves behind by one. Over to Curran. Healy. Now to Beattie. Beattie tries to put the foot down. She has certainly got some good acceleration about her play. Now Banazi Kia pops it back to the middle. Nothing doing there though for the Central Coast Dolphins. The defence was up and in from the Neptunes. So they get the turnover here. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I think they've been ruled to go back eventually, but had a bit of a false start on that occasion. As they jam in with a bit of defensive pressure here. Nice touch made from Sweeney. Neptunes up over halfway now. Good run here as well from Baxter, who heads towards the sideline. Really smooth transition too. They can keep the flow going. Nice momentum about the play. Good speed too on display. Touch comes in. They hit right at the advantage line. That's beautiful play from the Neptunes. Mia McDonald has gone all the way to the try line. And have they ruled that as a try? No, there's a touch right at the death. No, in fact, it has been confirmed. There we go.
There we go, 2-0. I was going to say I wouldn't be too concerned if I was in the Central Coast camp, because I feel like the sides were fairly evenly matched and they were in the game, but certainly that having that slide dive in your arsenal has caught Central Coast a couple of times now. And I think you mentioned that was McDonald. That's a really difficult thing to do, to be able to run full pace that way and actually pull up as though you're going to pass and then drop straight into a dive. That's a really advanced skill. So again, we're seeing the best of the best here in the Junior State Cup.
So here's Gambrel with that run. Now they keep marching forward. Quick is in there to make the touch as the reinforcements arrive. Manning is out there now. She took the previous little run. Now back off the left foot. Last play here just before that 7-metre mark. Oh, another great big dive from distance. And this one is to ground as well. So they're carving them up at the moment. I think that time it was Rankin again.
Yeah, that was three tries from 3 dives. And the interesting thing on that one, James, is that the defender was onside, but because she wasn't able to take that 2 steps, like to get off the line a bit, you essentially have, you're reaching down and it's, the ball often will beat the hand in that situation. The defenders have got to try and take at least 1 or 2 steps off so they don't get caught on their try line.
Played here from Beattie. Now Curran. Centre of the ground. Out to Winley. Winley with those long legs just striding towards the opposition. Very fluid movement. Out to Beattie once more. Beattie looking to create some sort of an opening here. Last play. Once more they go short side with Beattie, but they're all marked up. Well read there from Bonnie Sproul.
Yeah, I think was it Winley you were saying? It was interesting that in like touch now with these modern players, like the rep players. We often say modern because they're a different sort of skill set, different build, and we're noticing whether tall, short, all different body shapes, they've got the full range of skill. They can catch, pass, they're fast, they can get down for the dive, and I think we saw that, that was something that you highlighted there with Winley, where even though she's a bit taller than the other girls, really sharp, got a good pass and diver on, and that's sort of what we're seeing now in the game.
And it is very interesting too, because at this under-12s level, we actually have some players that might only be around the age of 10 or so. So there can be a huge discrepancy with some of the reaches on some of these players, whether it be for a high ball or for a long-range dive. If we take a look at little number 9 there, Isabella Quick. Here she is now with the ball. She's very fast, but she's also very short too. So she does a great job trying to squeeze through those little spots, as does this player here, Remy Walkerton. So Walkerton is causing a few problems. They fling it over the top. Good pressure, though, from Nelson Baden. It's a real array of different skill sets across both of these sides, Jason.
Yeah, it was good to see Quick there, and it is a good thing. I think to point out for all our viewers that at home or on their devices out here, is that if it's under 12s, that maybe they're 10, maybe they're 11, maybe they're 12, and that just makes it even more impressive that they're all competing at the high level together.
They've done a great job putting together these competitive sides, each of the respective managers of the clubs, as they keep shifting sideways here and eventually caught. Good touch made from the Central Coast Dolphins. They'll play it with the turnover on their own 7-metre mark. So still, however, the Neptunes are in the ascendancy here. 3 tries to 0. They've looked very strong to start this match. Marking up nicely too as the Central Coast Dolphins head towards their substitutions area, looking to get a smooth transition. It's not a bad one either, as they work it away now through Beattie. Beattie, who has been more than happy to do these little in and aways and really use her fast feet. She certainly does have a bit of pace too.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be giving her too much space, because I think she'll make you pay with that turn of speed that she just showed on that occasion.
Change over here though, and now the Neptunes will look to make them pay with good field position. They play it just on that 7-metre mark. Reinforcements arrive. Here's Borg. Borg drops it on the 7 herself. Oh, the pass was the right one there. She'd drawn in a few defenders, just stopped on a run momentarily, and that was all that was needed for that one to just sail in front of her.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed in this 12s girls division is they have the ability, and I guess it's a bit of a tip for all our young players and coaches coming through. They have the ability to dump the ball with their left hand and the right hand. And again, just reflecting back on how much the game's progressed over the last 10 or 20 years, there was a time when dumping left-handed was a real special skill. Oh, can you dump left and right? And now we're seeing, with these under 12 girls, both teams being able to dump on the right side and the left, almost as though it's just a natural thing that they can do. So I think that's full credit, to the coaches and the respective programs.
Yeah, certainly have developed the skill sets for all age groups. Some of those clinics that you're talking about as well, Jason Stenton, whether it be the likes of yourself or Carly Banks, we know does a lot of those in particular. So some of the preeminent minds of touch really instilling some great practices with our younger players. As another penalty comes here for the Central Coast Dolphins. This is good field position, a real chance to get themselves on the board now. 10 minutes into the match, still 3-0. Nelson Bay leading. The Central Coast Dolphins coming into this one, such a strong nursery. We had certainly some thoughts that they could cause the Neptunes a few problems, but so far it's transpired in the other direction. Nelson Bay have been the side in the ascendancy.
Yeah, Nelson Bay have been able to execute some really good plays and dives. And this comes across as a slightly younger Central Coast team, but they're actually, sort of sticking it with them in sort of periods. It's just not consistent enough across the whole game to get the result by the looks of it.
Tuckwell now on the run, looking to try and get away from them. Pops a late pass here for Benazi Kia. I'm going to say that's actually a touch pass, in fact. So changeover. It was the last anyway. So now the Nelson Bay Neptunes will get a crack themselves. 11 minutes gone. So they head up towards the opposition half. About 10 metres shy.
Yeah, another good opportunity here for Central Coast, and they really need to see if they can snag one back here, James.
So here come the Central Coast Dolphins, about 10 away from the try line. Referee just ensuring they're all back on side. Oh, beautifully worked down the short side here from Sienna Tuckwell. Nearly opened them up. It's good pressure, though, supplied from the wing against the run of Benazi Kia. Back towards the middle as Healy plays it. Still a couple of plays up their sleeve. Here comes little Isabella Quick. She certainly is quite quick.
Yeah, that was the right idea there from Quick. And one of the things as well, I'm always full of tips for the young girls coming through. So one of the things that I'm seeing here, as we've got a bit of a changeover there for Coast, is that the girls are running with the ball in two hands, which is what we saw there for Quick. And often when you start to play touch, you tuck it under your arm, like you're playing like maybe rugby league or rugby union, and it's a bit of a skill then to start running with the ball out in front so you can pass and dump. And we're seeing that from both sides here. Another turnover there, but yeah, we've seen that, and that's really impressive as well. And again, something that we maybe didn't used to see in the past. Now all the players have been having that ability to run with the ball in two hands, which gets it ready for a dump or a pass.
That's exactly the point. If you have it on the two hands, you keep the opposition defensive line guessing, because anything could happen from that point. As the Neptunes go on the attack here into enemy territory, that one just a little bit behind the run there of Gambrel, leaves it behind. So Tuckwell will tap it. The Central Coast Dolphins now have a chance themselves. 3 tries to 0, they lead around about halfway through this match. Of course, 25-minute fixtures for the Junior State Cup Northern Conference. See the finalist of these fixtures later on in the season. A couple of weeks' time from now, they'll be in Sydney.
Is that Beattie, is it? She's flying.
She's just got oodles of energy. She's been doing this all day, no matter what match it's been. These long runs across the field, trying to open up a few wide passages.
I'm just tired watching. If I was defending Beattie, I'd be asking for help straight away.
There's definite Labrador energy when we talk about what is your spirit animal. That's what I'm imagining there. Oodles of energy.
Yeah, as soon as she caught the ball, I'd be yelling out, help, help.
Little pass here from the Neptunes. Off it comes now for Collie. Richards up towards and now over halfway. As the run comes in from Gambrel. Good meters too, a nice drive from Gambrel. Just have to slow down a little bit there with Manning. Wanted to continue things in pretty abrupt fashion. Nice change of angle there too from McDonald. And they hit this one at pace right at the advantage line. Oh, if they could have got the quick ball away there, it was really on. Out wide from Olatunde. Back towards the middle. They keep it alive. Nice recycling of the footy. Olachun gets it low. But the pressure is a really good one there from Rankin. In fact, should I say, from Post.
Yeah, the way Rankin comes charging onto that ball at speed on the back of the platform that the Neptunes are setting for her, that's really hard to stop. So definitely look out for Rankin over the course of the weekend and definitely put a bit of a circle around this Neptunes outfit.
So Winley is back out there. Tuckwell taking that little hit up there. As it comes away now for Curran. This is Winley now running at some offside players. Big step came in. She thought she'd managed to evade that initial touch there of Kyla Rankin, who's been so heavily involved with 2 tries so far in this match, but she was unable to, and that means, of course, a change over here for Nelson Bay. Here is Rankin again, dropping it off. A little slow with the transition there. Eventually they got those reinforcements onto the field. About 10 minutes to go, 15 gone here. Unfortunately for the Neptunes, just as it was building, another error coming to the fore. As Winley is told to hop back onto the mark and complete the roll ball. So now the Dolphins with a chance to march upfield.
Yeah, do you think would it be fair to say that you're loving the Neptunes mascot now, James? We weren't sure that they were called the Neptunes, and now it's just a really affectionate mascot, eh? You're loving
I think
the Neptunes.
it's definitely grown on me. It's grown in a big way. It might even be my favourite Greek god at this point.
You're happy with the going a Greek god rather than the dolphin? You want to go with a god?
I'm not sure if there's a dolphin equivalent for a Greek god. Maybe there needs to be. Maybe Neptune is the equivalent. He is the master of the seas after all, and at the moment it is certainly the Neptunes who are mastering the Dolphins in this one. 3 tries to nil. So they head up towards and now over halfway. Great little roll ball too. A little slow to hop into acting half, but they can continue the momentum here with Clark, who picks up a good 10 metres or so. They'll crab across field. Baxter drops it off. Now the transition is complete here as they get into the last, and they can work with a semi-strike dump here. Not the worst play of the ball, that's for sure. But they do a great job jamming in from out wide. Post, another really good read for such a young player. She'll come up again and shut them down. That's beautiful play from Alana Post. It's a 2-on-1 situation, and both times she made the right call.
Yeah, really good read there. And that's what you want to try and do when you might be coaching, or you might be playing in a game where the opposition's got 2 or 3 tries from diving at your players' feet. So how you respond to that is you get your defenders to help each other out. You squeeze the line in a little bit and you force the attack to throw longer balls to try and get around you. And it looks like Central Coast have made that correction where they're a little bit tighter now, and they've tried to take that dive away from Neptunes and make them pass the ball to score.
Winley, that pass there, just a little tough to take in for Tuckwell, but I think it was a touch pass nonetheless. So a turnover here, 10 shy of the halfway line, 8 to go. The Nelson Bay Neptunes still with a nice little advantage here. 3 tries to nil. Sproul comes forward. Now they'll play it with Gambrel. Around about 20 away from the opposition try line. They keep marching upfield. Good run here. Working through the middle is Colley. Last play now. She's still an option. Back out there is Rankin, already with 2 tries in this match. Colley promotes it further. Oh, it's just gone behind on the final pass. It was building nicely, though, for Nelson Bay.
Yeah, really, really strong there from Nelson Bay. And again, Central Coast appear to have made that correction where they're taking away that midfield dive and making them move the ball. So I think that's really impressive from Central Coast, and that'll serve them well throughout the rest of the tournament if they can force opposition teams to string passes together to try and score against them.
Well, here we go again with Beattie. We know she loves those cross-field runs. She got away from the first defender, but this time they were waiting for that crabbing across the field. And now Curran picks up some easy meters here, still alive. On the next play here with Healy, they'll turn it over. So Nelson Bay, about 6.5 remaining. Still with a handy little buffer, 3 tries to nil. And what we have found is at this age group, tries can be a little bit hard to come by. So Nelson Bay, 15 away from the try line. They pop it up once more. Gambrel straightening the attack. Caught inside the 7. She'll go back to the mark and play it Last play now here for the Nelson Bay Neptunes. Good draw and pass. Gambrel works it beautifully, and into the corner they go through Delaney Borg. 4 tries to 0.
Yeah, and I like these post-try celebrations too, James. I love seeing the energy and the joy. Looking at these teams, like they really come together at these events and have a good time, and I think that's an important aspect of touch footy as well. We are talking about the best of the best, but there is a lot of fun and camaraderie in these outfits.
Well, especially for these Junior State Cup conferences, this is where players are still learning their trade, falling in love with the game. When we get to that Premier League division, we don't see quite as many try celebrations. It's all very much a case of the business face is on. But the one thing that we do get from these events is that the feedback for players and families alike participating in the events is just, they have a terrific time. So if you are interested in joining all the fun, you can head to playtouchfooty.com. It's playtouchfooty.com, and you can sign up for your local club. You might even appear at the next Junior State Conference. So here are the Nelson Bay Neptunes, still in the attack. 7 shy of the try line. Last play now. Big dummy. Gambrel it is again. Gambrel has gone in, I believe it is. And if it is Gambrel, that's a hat-trick.
Yeah,
in fact, Rankin, sorry.
Might be Rankin, yeah.
Yeah, it's Rankin.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point you mentioned about getting involved with touch and actually playing. We've got a nice post-try celebration there again. Is one of the unique things about touch with this with unlimited interchange is that when you're new to the game, there's 14 players in the team, but only 6 on the field, so you can go on for a bit, come off, go on, rotate and learn the game. You're not under a bit like, maybe not pressure is the right word, but you don't have that sort of like expectation that you've got to know the whole game right off the bat, because you can sort of feel your way into it and pick up things as you go. So it's certainly one of those sports where you can just sort of jump in, as soon as you show a bit of interest, get there and, get playing with your friends and learn it a bit as you're going. Whereas some of the other sports, you might have one team that's, they stay on the field for the whole duration, but touch is unique that it has that unlimited interchange.
It's also very much a team sport. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. If a single player isn't quite in the right spot, whether it be attack or defence, there's points leaking. So it's very much a cohesive unit. So you will definitely feel a part of the family if you are playing touch footy. And once more, the best way to do that, head to playtouchfooty.com as the Central Coast Dolphins have a try that's gone begging there. With about 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, so there's boys and girls here at the junior elite level, but as you move into some of the older divisions, then mixed becomes an option as well, where you get the boys and girls or the men and women playing in the same team. And I think that's another unique aspect of touch football that you don't get in other sports, is that mixed element where you can really get the family together, whether it's brothers, sisters, cousins, even sometimes the mums and dads with the kids, all playing in their local comp.
Yeah, I think of the Rosarios. I believe they're husband and wife, are they not?
Yeah,
the mixed origin level. Yeah,
there's a lot. As we go to the corner, good touch. Yeah, there's a lot of stories like that, like husband and wife, or mum and dad with the kids, or playing. You'll probably see through the commentary. There's quite a few times that we'll mention the coach, and they happen to be a former player. And I think we were talking about the Northern Beaches team earlier, where there was Coach Heath Cooper, who was one of the greats from the Scorpions region, and then his son Bo Cooper happened to be one of the strongest on the field, and his wife Vanessa Cooper is actually from touch as well, and she's an elite rep player as well. She recently played for New South Wales, so there is a lot of those family connections throughout touch football, which again, you don't always get that in all the sports. So it's something that's awesome about our sport.
Well, speaking of family connections, in this Nelson Bay side alone, we've got Bonnie Sproul playing in the 14, and then the coach is Mother Michelle, the assistant is Father Glenn. So there you have it, very much a family affair. And also Amy Olachund is the mother of Ambimbola Olachund in the number 7 as well. So there are plenty of family connections in this one side alone, and there's not a great deal of time remaining, about 2 minutes here. Still a commanding position here for Nelson Bay, 5 tries to 0. The Dolphins have tried hard, but it's been a very clinical display so far from the Neptunes as they continue promoting the footy wider. Still, that's great tracking, though, there from Alana Post. who's done some really good things out wide, especially in defence, as they work it nicely here, though. The Neptunes, oh, they're in again. Beautiful play. Mia Richards goes in, 6 tries to 0.
Yeah, a great try then again. And look, Rankin and Colley and Richards, like this under-12s team from Nelson Bay, if they're able to keep sort of taking steps and developing throughout the weekend, they're going to be really hard to beat. We've got another post-try celebration again. I didn't get to do them. We didn't do them back in my day because I'm 100 years old, but it's definitely something that I like seeing. I'm a little bit jealous I didn't get to do any post-try celebrations, but this Nelson Bay outfit, they're looking really strong.
Looking very strong indeed, and at full time, they have run out pretty comprehensive victors here, 6 tries to 0. It's a big result for them. Central Coast Dolphins coming into this one have had high hopes. There is still time to regroup and certainly ensure that they can come away with a couple of big results moving forward. And up for us next for the 3 p.m. slot will be myself and Jason staying with you as we move to the 18 girls division. The Ryde Eastwood team taking on the Newcastle side. All the action in 5 minutes time at 3 o'clock.